Here. Okay. How's that? Hey, guys, give me some feedback there. Can you guys hear me? Let me know. I said we've got some folks in there. We've got some folks on Instagram. To all our Instagram family, thank you all for joining us. I think folks were saying they can't hear. Is that good now? I think we forgot to unmute. So let me start that over. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again and welcome to another episode of Telehealth Tuesday. This is your go-to podcast for insights on modern healthcare and wellness solutions. I am Dr. Michael Bookhardt, your host, and today we have a very special episode lined up just for you. Before we get started, I'm going to repeat all this since nobody heard it. Again, we want to apologize to all of our faithful viewers and family, friends, and even fans, if you will, that we were not able to start at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time today. We put an announcement out that we would start at 8:15. I think we went on 8:13 live with the countdown. And so, and again, we apologize for that. That was due to a lot of confusion with the holiday, Memorial Day, all that good stuff that kind of threw off some calendars, and a lot of people that started their work week on today instead of yesterday. So anyway, we wanted to just still make sure, because we're committed to providing this for everyone, to make sure that we still have this platform that is designed just for you in the community. And so just wanted to get on here probably for just about 30 minutes. We won't take up too much of your time. And for those of you out there that either travel for Memorial Day or were with family and friends, we hope you all had a safe, enjoyable, and relaxing Memorial Day. And so thank you again for those that are joining us. Hopefully y'all let me know if you can hear me now. So, because I think thank God we didn't get too far into the monologue without that. All right. What about on Instagram? Let's see. We want to just say hello to Instagram land. I see Octavia. So let me know if you guys can hear now. Okay. Let me know if you can hear. Y'all come on in. So tonight is going to be a special episode where we're talking about various topics in medicine. Just wanted you all to know Telehealth Tuesday can be viewed on multiple platforms, including our YouTube channel, which is Dr. B TV. That is the word doctor spelled out DOCTOR, the letter B as in boy, TV, on YouTube, and also on Instagram and also Facebook. Facebook, Michael Bookhardt, MD, MBA, and also Instagram on Heart of Music, HARDT, Heart spelled that way, of music. And also, we would like to thank all of you that have been there with us. This is episode 42. So thank you for all of our day ones that have been there. I want to give a special round of applause to our day one viewers, our friends and family. Thank you all for being there. So you can hear now. Okay. So let's get going, guys. I know I see Octavia's there. I'm sure Jasmine Briscoe is there. I think my wonderful mother's there. Oh, speaking of her, I wanted to give you all an update. And again, thank you for all of the thoughts and prayers. Those were truly heard and felt all the way back home to Orlando, Florida. Unfortunately, Mom is back in the hospital, but for something different. But the good Lord, we know we're claiming He's gonna bring us through. And guess what? Big shout out to I want to make sure I get this gentleman's name right, because he gave me a ride in the Uber this afternoon, Mr. Christopher Peedy, Peede. If you are out there, let's put that up on the board. Big shout out. And he told me he's a pastor, actually. Let's see. There's Chris Peedy. Yeah, there we go. Man, you guys, so anytime, you never know where you're going to be, where someone shares their faith. And this gentleman, he's a brother from another mother, but that doesn't matter because he shared something amazing with me today, even in the Uber ride. And so he had a prayer with me as soon as he dropped me off at the Gateway mechanic shop. He said, "Hey, do you mind if I pray with you, brother?" And he was even saying that he was going to minister. He goes all over the different jails and facilities ministers to the prisons, more of a prison ministry. And he was one day, he said he was preaching at a black church, and they said, well, wait a minute. Are you sure the message is going to translate, or is it going to be okay? You feel comfortable? And he said, the word is the word, you know? And so God's word is what it is, as folks say. So anyway, a big shout out to him. That was a huge blessing because he didn't know that my mother had just gotten admitted to the hospital again. And so big shout out to Chris Petey again, who was my Uber driver, actually. But again, please keep her in your thoughts and prayers. She is stable. She is stable, certainly, at the moment. So we don't want to give anybody a big scare. Last time we had to edit that message because some folks thought that, oh, Lord, she's going to see the pearly gates, you know. So it's not to that level yet. But please, you know, she's been battling something for quite some time. So thoughts and prayers for my mother. Thank you all so much. All right. So let's get to it. Let's talk about some really interesting topics. One of those is President Joe Biden, or former President Joe Biden, who there was a lot of controversy about this with him being diagnosed with prostate cancer. In some strange way, people were thinking that his wife should have somehow found the cancer first. Some bizarre things that are being said. But certainly she's not a medical doctor, so that makes no sense. But as you can see, even if a former president who's unfortunately being stricken with prostate cancer, if he can be diagnosed, certainly those of us that are here, you know, just regular citizens, we can be. So it is more important than ever to make sure to see your primary care doctor, to make sure to get screened. As I've said before, thank y'all so much, Monica and Nicole. We'll be praying. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Connie. Hello to my Orlando, Florida family. What's going on? This is the second and third time, Connie. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us again. I knew Jasmine Briscoe would be there. LNT, I should know your licensed massage therapist number by now. Go on and put it up there, Jasmine. I know. Go on and put it up there. I should know your number by now. But thank you all so much for thoughts and prayers. Let's keep y'all. Come on in. Come on in. This is the episode. Truly, I know we say it all the time. Hey, this is your episode, but I really mean that. But this is truly your episode because look, this is only going to be me and you. We don't have another guest for me to go back and forth with. So look, and we can monologue. I can talk to myself all night, but I want to hear from you guys. We want some participation. I know there's some folks out there that have some questions. Whether you want to ask about the former president's health, whether you want to ask about what is a PSA, how do you check? And of course, you know, my wonderful producer says that we're going to hold that, of course, prostate cancer awareness month and things like that. And then later on is Men's Health Month in the in the winter. So we'll do a lot more of that. But I just wanted to bring that up because it's such a pertinent issue because this is, you know, the man who just left office. And so he has it. And it was major news in America. LMT 20. I was going to say 2540. 2540. Thank y'all so much. Yeah, Jack, I got it now. I'm not going to forget. Thank y'all also for sharing. I guess we didn't really have a flyer because everything was all over the place. Thank you so much. So we just kind of, you know, let the good Lord lead with this one. All right. Where's my good buddy Kenora Brown? Let's see where Kenora is at. I know he's got his show. Big shout out to him. Let's see. That 1 second. Let's put something on there. 1 second here. Hold on a second. And okay, there we go. Driscoll, man, big shout out to you, brother. My frat brother from, of course, the greatest fraternity that has ever been even mentioned in the history books, Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated, 1906. our new chapter president. So big ups to you and congratulations. Thank you for being such an amazing supporter. I know you're here, there, and supporting, and we really appreciate it. And again, big shout out, big hello, good evening to everyone on Instagram. So this is still a work in progress for us. Instagram is a little bit different, so we've got to keep two separate pages because they don't necessarily interact with our software. But nevertheless, we still have folks in Instagram land that can see us. All right. So let me know if anybody has any question. We'll stop and take it. Questions, comments, anything interesting. Even if you want to join, we'll send you the link if you want to come on. So I'm seeing some things. We got somebody sending messages here. Let's see. Okay, there we go. All right, so one of the topics that we wanted to discuss, one thing was AI, all right? Artificial intelligence in healthcare. What is that all about? All right, so currently, and where I am right now, full-time, we are utilizing AI software. So basically, you come in, you get the person's permission and say, hey, do you mind if I utilize some AI software? It's going to do a recording, but it's not going to be stored on my computer. It's going to be in the cloud, basically. And the way that works is it'll be deleted automatically in 24 hours. And this makes it so much easier for me to write your note so I can pay more attention to you instead of having to sit there like a courtroom stenographer and type, mashing keys. And so it helps the provider, which is a physician, nurse practitioner, PA, to listen to you more so they can spend more time doing what we've been trained to do rather than typing a bunch of notes. So AI is amazing. So some clinics have it built into the software. Some clinics have it built into the computer, the actual laptop itself. Some clinics have it built into the walls with microphones and speakers. But AI in healthcare is a major, major breakthrough. So, of course, in the wrong hands, I know there's a lot of naysayers. Like, of course, when the COVID vaccine came out, people were saying, wait a minute, we don't need this. And at some point I was certainly skeptical. I remember going on the news channel. I believe I was on WAPT and went on there and said, COVID hasn't even been out a year. So how do we have a vaccine? But even once it was later determined to be safe, folks were still, there was some conspiracy theories out there and other issues. So just like a lot of people, they talk about Siri and Alexa and all that and feel like everybody's listening in, government is listening in, and you can be the judge of that. I'm not saying that they are or they are not. But AI software in medicine is certainly a huge breakthrough that makes it so much more convenient for us to do our job. So we don't have to sit there and type a bunch of notes in front of you or, instead of going home to our families and loved ones. So that's that on AI. Now, what about telemedicine? Let's talk about telemedicine. Does anybody know what telemedicine is? If you do, let us know your thoughts on that. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns about telemedicine? Honestly, we want to hear from you. Let me refresh this. So let's see. Okay. So if you guys know about that, tell me what you know about telemedicine, or does anybody want to know about it? I'm going to wait just a second to see if we've got some folks in there that have any questions or comments. In the meantime, again, for those that are just joining, I've seen a couple other people on there. This is Telehealth Tuesday. Normally we're here every Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. But today, because of the holiday and a few other glitches and other issues, we logged on at 8:15 p.m. But rest assured, and you'll also see the usual flyer that will be on 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. So if it's 7 o'clock here, that means that Eastern Time back home in Florida, it's 8 o'clock. So 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, Telehealth Tuesday. We are here, God willing, each and every Tuesday to answer your questions. We are here for you. We love all of our audience participation. So keep them coming. Let's get those questions and comments rolling. All right. We've got a question here. Bianca says, I'd like to know the pros and cons of telemedicine. Now, that is a great question. Personally, I think the pros are just like, when we talk about AI software, we talk about artificial intelligence. When it comes to telemedicine, it helps us to spend more time, taking care of patients. It allows us to reach farther. So, for example, at the university where I trained here in Jackson, Mississippi, they have basically the hub is right there. And so all the helicopters and all that stuff, because it's a level 1 trauma center, they come into the university there. And I believe that's one of the hubs for the telemedicine program for the entire state. And so some of those certain calls, depending on what they are, whether it's a gunshot victim or whatever's going on, rollover accident, those are going to be escalated. And those people coming in, that's like an arm of telemedicine. But actual telemedicine means usually it's like you have a camera and a speaker and microphone. So basically, if I can't be there in front of you in person, then somebody with a computer or a phone or some tablet or whatnot can come in the room, usually a nurse or a medical assistant or CNA, come in the room. We can visualize the patient, even if I'm, in my studio or if I'm at home or at the office or in the hospital. But somebody in another city, state, zip code, whatever, even country, they roll that computer in there, or bring that laptop, and we can interface with the patient and with the medical team wherever they are. So it makes it so much more convenient and a lot less strain on the medical team. Instead of having to rely on a report from a colleague or from one of the nursing staff, we can visualize the patient ourselves in real time. And so that's a huge, especially during COVID, that was huge because a lot of medical providers, especially older providers who were at risk themselves of, contacting COVID and then different strains of flu and all these other things. And even you remember last year when year before when RSV was hitting adults, which is, unheard of. So we had all that going on. And so even the providers were getting sick. There were a lot of providers who contacted COVID and other strains of other viruses and died. And so even the providers in their offices were saying, hey, if you're sick, don't come in here. Everybody had to wear a mask, but there were providers who said, don't even come in my office because you're going to make the other patients sick who may have just regular needs like hypertension, diabetes, or you may get my staff sick. And, we definitely don't have time for that. And so y'all need to just stay home. And so that's when telemedicine, and hopefully that answers your question, really, truly was worth its weight in gold. So those would be the pros. The cons, depending on, your internet speed, certain things can lag, or, you might not have good equipment or microphone. So you might hear the wrong thing, see the wrong thing, misjudge things. And ultimately a person, I could see them even making a misdiagnosis. I don't think it happens, often per capita, but certainly if, without being there in person to talk with somebody, there's always the risk of that. But I definitely think the pros outweigh the cons. So great question. Kind of says, tell us more about, okay, I guess you're talking about telemedicine. Okay. Let's see. Octavia. All right. Let's see what you got for us. Can you speak on post-vaccination syndrome from COVID-19 vaccination? I've been hearing a lot about it lately. That is also an excellent question. That syndrome, it is, I still honestly, Octavia, to be honest with you, and that's what we love about being here. Again, shameless plug, Telehealth Tuesday. That's what we love about being here on Telehealth Tuesday because although we would say, hey, thank you for sponsoring us, no, we're not being paid to be here. And so we can actually speak freely. We're not beholden to anybody. So I can let you know directly and speak directly to you guys that I honestly feel like we still do not fully understand COVID. Excuse me, folks will go on all the networks, CNN, Fox, ABC, NBC, and all that, and they'll just go on bloviating and all this stuff. saying what we know here, and we do know a lot. Okay, we know about who it affects, who's susceptible. Excuse me. We've got a lot of data. This is almost 5 years of data. We're so much farther along than we were before. But post vaccination syndrome is so many things that could be confusing the picture there, because it's like, basically, did this person did they have both vaccines? Have they had the boosters or the next version? What is this person's age, ethnicity? Were they sick before? It's so many confounding principles. But a lot of people say, talk about memory fog. They talk about sometimes even temperature issues with, low grade temps and all that. They talk about malaise and just kind of dragging around. And then some people, because there was a cascade of inflammatory markers with COVID, a lot of people were getting blood clots and heart attacks and stroke. And so post vaccination syndrome, they were seeing some effects that were mirroring that. So I don't know. I hope that, because it really is not as straightforward. If you said, what is the A1C where you diagnose diabetes, I would tell you 6.5. That's a clear cut answer. But hopefully, you guys understand what I'm saying, because COVID is not a clear cut disease. It has so many different tentacles to it, if you will, and it can impact every aspect of the body, just like diabetes and lupus and thyroid issues. And so, but that would be my answer to that. I hope that answered your question. All right. Thank you. Bianca says thank you. All right. Awesome. But keep y'all look, these are great questions. Y'all making me work a little bit. So keep them coming. All right. Mom is there. She is, like I said, I want everybody to say hello to her. We'll give her a clap. So glad that she's even able to be with us here, literally while she's in the hospital. So you all keep her in your prayers. But she is doing better. We talked with her physician earlier, who seems to be very capable. And so y'all keep her in the prayers down in Orlando, Florida, back home. She says, my mom says that telemedicine is very convenient, especially if you have an iPhone and can do FaceTime. All right. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Absolutely. And to those, wait a minute. Let's see. Let me see if Remy, because he always gives me a hard time. Let's see. 1 second. 1 second, everyone. Regarding the superior, we're going to put that in there. That's just a little bit of shade in here in between my brother there. Let's see. Just a little bit of shade there. That's great. What's going on? I see. Wait a minute. Oh, I think did we do something? Okay, there we go. I see some of my good people from Oakwood. There's Dr. Kelly Smith Castro, DMD, dentist to the stars. Mr. Terrell Moses and Paxton Green. Big shout out to y'all. Terrell, man, what's going on? We're looking forward to hearing you and that silky smooth voice, bro. So thank y'all for joining us over there in Instagram land. All right, back to over here. Let's see. All right, let's talk about that. Telemedicine on the iPhone. Now, certainly this is not an ad for iPhone. I have an iPhone. I do feel it's certainly superior. So Remy, not if you're on here, let me know your thoughts. Actually, don't. But anyway, any smartphone, okay, can certainly do telemedicine. I do believe FaceTime is superior. It's a little bit better clarity. That's just a fact. If anybody wants to have that, we can do that right now. But FaceTime is excellent. You can also use other modalities, such as the one that we're using. You can also use other things. And so no matter what it is, that basically we're just saying whatever you can do to utilize audio and video while you're not actually there in front of the person, that would be telemedicine. If it's from provider to patient and you are giving medical advice and most likely putting in codes and charges for that, that is telemedicine. And so absolutely agree with your mom on that. If you have an iPhone, if you have any smartphone, but certainly iPhone, if you have that, it really, really makes it convenient for your folks, for your providers. So again, um, thank you for that comment. Let's see. You all keep them coming, folks. Let's stay on here for another 15 minutes, okay? We've got 15 more minutes, so but we're not even doing a full hour. I know it's getting late. We're going to be off here at 9:05, okay? Thank you all for hanging late with us. Thank you all for hanging with us. Roy on Instagram, hello to you. Thank you for joining us. So we got our Instagram folks that are following. One more time, I want to just, for anybody, because I see a couple new people on the head count here. This is Telehealth Tuesday. We are here each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, God willing, every Tuesday. And this is the place where we help to discuss and treat the conditions that possibly you might be too afraid to either ask your provider, or maybe you don't have a provider at all because you don't have insurance, or you're scared to go to the doctor, or whatever it is. This is the non-judgment zone. This is the place where we can talk anything and everything, okay? Now, I'm going to make a funny statement here, right? This is going to be something I would have led with for Men's Health Month, or later on when we doing prostate cancer awareness. A funny thing, and my mom always likes this joke. It's not even a joke. This is real deal. You know, why is it that every time a man comes to the doctor, and he's going to wait either until he has a male provider or until the wife or the girlfriend or daughter leaves the room, and he's going to scoot in real close, and he's going to lower his voice, and he's going to say, "Hey," and it's never the main presenting complaint like Mr. Jones is here for heart failure follow-up, or Mr. Jones is here for diabetes follow-up. It'll be that, or like ankle pain, or rotator cuff tear. And then right when you say, "All right, Mr. Jones, good to see you," shaking hands, he's going to pull you in and say, "Hey," his voice gets deeper and lower. The cadence is different. And he says, "Hey, I want to talk to you about some of those the little blue pills, or some Viagra." Because and I say that's the number one reason. There's two reasons why most men, especially in the South, go visit the doctor. And I know this is going to sound crazy. The number one reason is because the female in their life forces them to, and that could be their daughter, their mother, their cousin, their wife, girlfriend, whoever, or a female church member. They force them to go, right? Because men are hard-headed. The second reason is because there's a problem with their penis. That's it. So that's one thing. A man could have his foot cut off. I mean, his blood sugar could be 1,000. But he said, "Listen, wait a minute, Dr. Bookhardt. Now I got to make sure that third leg still stands up." And I say, "You're literally here with your blood pressure at stroke level, or even too low where you still have a stroke or pass out." That's the one thing men are concerned about. But that's a whole nother topic. All right. Let's get to another question. I thought it was funny, but it is the truth. All right, Jasmine, what you got, Jasmine? Let's see. How important is it to have all vital signs checked at emergency room visits? Well, that's another great question. Now, that should certainly be something that is standard to all, not even just reputable hospitals, any hospital, any emergency department, because your question is about emergency room visits. So we've got love from Pakistan. Oh, let's put that up there. All right. Natural Voices, Ibrahim. Okay. Thank you for joining us from Pakistan. Wow, that's definitely a person. You'll only see it here on Telehealth Tuesday live. They're live. We're giving love from Pakistan. Okay, let's put Jasmine's question back up. How important is it to have all vital signs checked at emergency room visits? Now, that should be standard. If you go to an emergency room, or even a doctor's or any medical professional that does not check your vital signs, that means weight, height, And those are, like they're important, certainly, especially the weight. But more important, what we're going to be really looking for: blood pressure, pulse or heart rate, temperature, respiratory rate, oxygen saturation. Okay, those are those five. It's really seven because you have height and weight. But definitely those five. If they're not at least getting those five, sometimes it might be difficult to weigh a person because they might not be able to walk, or the facility may not have a certain type of scale. You might not be able to, roll a wheelchair on it like how we have in the office. So height and weight is kind of, negligible, especially height. But heart, again, blood pressure, pulse/heart rate, temperature, respiratory rate, which is your breathing rate, how fast your chest is rising, and your oxygen saturation. Those, if they're not doing that, you need to get up and walk out. Okay? So hopefully that answered the question. That is how important it is. Because, and what I always would tell medical students and residents when I would have them with me, working in the hospital jobs that I've had my entire career, I said, I say to all of them, and I really take pride and pleasure in this. I said, what is the first part of the physical exam of a patient? And the students, especially medical students, they all look confused. What do you mean? Like the visual of the patient, like the general, well-developed, well-nourished, no acute distress. I said, no, that's the first part of the written part of the exam. But what is the true first part of the physical exam? And the answer is vital signs. And why are they called vital signs? Not a trick question, because they're vital. So thanks for bringing that up. All right, another question here. Octavia's asking, telemedicine, or maybe a comment. Telemedicine has been very helpful and convenient for me, especially when I was doing wound care. It allowed the doctor to put eyes on the wound and immediately put a treatment order in place until he was able to visit in person. Wow. I mean, I want you guys to understand the significance of that comment, the way it was set up. We got Shay Boogie _30. Thank you so much. I think I know who that is, but I don't want to mess anything up with the technology. So just know that we see you there on Instagram. Thank you for joining us. Come on in Instagram. Thank you for bringing that up, Octavia, because I agree with you, especially something like wound care, where a person is usually not going to be coding or not actively dying. These could potentially be large wounds, and these could potentially be sick patients. People with cerebral palsy, stroke folks, people that are bedridden, musculo MS, myasthenia gravis, all kind of different weakness disorders and things where people cannot either turn themselves, can't get up and walk or whatnot, or if it's a difficult wound on the backside that you can't really get to and clean properly. And so if you've got a lack of experts, like especially in underserved places like in Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana, possibly Georgia, you might have one wound care expert for every couple of thousands of miles or so. And so he or she is not going to be able to get to physically driving to all those places. And so telemedicine, as you stated, is certainly helpful and so much more efficient, so that those patients can be taken care of without having to run the person ragged who's got to go to all these different places and keep track of all these different patients. So definitely agree with that. And again, thank you all for the love from Pakistan tonight. So please make sure whoever's in Pakistan that you guys add us Dr. B TV on YouTube. That's the word Dr. DOCTOR. The letter B as in boy, TV on YouTube. Go ahead and make sure to click subscribe. Make sure you follow, like, and share, and even tag us. Not only in Pakistan, right here in Mississippi, back home in Orlando, Florida. So we want to show love to everyone. Thank you all for being with us. We'll take a couple more questions. I think we said we'll go to 9:05. So you guys let me know what's going on out there. Who has any questions, comments, concerns? Again, this is the place. There's no question or comment that's ridiculous or that's too big or too small. And if we can't answer it, then we'll find you an answer, find you an expert who can. And so, but we love hearing from you guys. So let's keep it coming. Give me two more. Give me two more. Somebody, give me two more. I'm waiting for you. In the meantime, one of our we had a list of topics that are some hot topics in medicine. Another one, another one is people talk about academic medicine, right? So that would be over at the university. It's not as much to discuss from there, and probably not as much of an interesting topic, but certainly those of us that have a passion for teaching, is so important because unfortunately, a lot of medical students are coming out not having a clue of what they're doing, honestly, and they go into residency and then just kind of deer in headlights. And so we want to help shape these young minds and make sure they're ready to deal with all the things that are out there. Tough questions from families, and when it comes to end of life care, that's another one. End of life care. We had an episode with my good friend Nate, Dr. Nate Dunlap, and we were talking about end of life being prepared. That's something that we have got to be prepared for, guys. We've got to, instead of being in the hospital and folks all crowding around when it's the last minute, end of time, end of their days of your loved one. And they're saying, well, Big Mama wouldn't have wanted this, or he wouldn't have wanted this, or whoever. And you've got family members that are arguing over what to do with the person, and now they're out of it. They're comatose, or they're septic. They're on a ventilator. They can't respond. There's a tube down in their mouth, down in their throat, and they're laying there. And so when we don't have proper advanced life planning and talking about code status, and that's full code or DNR, which is do not resuscitate. What are these people's wishes? What is your mother, father's wishes? What is your spouse's wishes? What are, whoever? What are their wishes? God forbid if something should happen. We don't plan on it happening, but you want to be prepared at all points. On this thing called life, and it's not just patients. So it's not people. Even those of us that know better. Even those of us that are seasoned healthcare professionals, sometimes we don't have all our affairs in order. It's so important to get your affairs in order. I want to do that. Let's talk about that. If you guys want to talk about that next time I see that topic as a feature on here, y'all, you guys feel free to question, comment, share, tag, like, let us know below. Let us know what we want to hear from you. Let us know what you guys want to hear. I think that's a huge one, end of life, life planning. And so Dr. Nate Dunlap in Alabama, his wife, Kathy, big shout out to you all. They do phenomenal work down there. And he is, I think he put his content. You might just go on Dr. B TV on YouTube and look back for that episode. But we had a fantastic show. We had a couple of guests on there, and we were just talking about all that, just the tough things that people, especially in the minority community, don't want to talk about. We just want to kind of keep it on the hush, or just say, well, when that time comes, we'll just pray about it. And no, that is certainly not the good advice. So we want everybody to be prepared for that. And so make sure to catch that episode on the replay. We'll try to put up some kind of fancy promo thing so you guys can go check that episode out because it was amazing. It was great information given. We see a couple more viewers come up. Look, all right, I promise, guys, we'll go to 9:10, and that's it. I got one. I saw Octavius got. Let's go ahead and I'm going to answer that question. I see it there. We've got a few new viewers on. So, all right, well, here we go. Keep them coming. Hey, look, I'm here. I'm here as long as y'all want to stay, okay? I'm here as long as you want to stay. Let's keep them coming. We've got two more. So let's see here. All right. My son was diagnosed with asthma at 5 years old. He was on immunotherapy, shots, inhalers, singular, etc. We were told that he may one day grow out of it. I'm going to use the air quotes. Excuse me. But he has had pneumonia almost every year until he was 17. He's now 18 and hardly has any symptoms and does not need all the medications anymore. What age do you think they grow out of it? It's a very interesting question. You know, Usually in the teenage years when people talk about growing out of it, I would, maybe, 15 or so, but there's no definite age on that. But certainly, we're talking before or before at or before, the age of about 17, 18, we're talking about growing out of it. So maybe during their infant years, toddler years, going on up, elementary, middle school. Usually when they get about to high school and things have developed a little more, your body's still developing, until around 21 or so. It's still growing, growth plates and all that stuff, but the immune system maturing in those later teenage years, and especially after so many years of being exposed to things in daycare and school, different viruses and all that, and also after having tolerated the different vaccinations, and now we have so many more vaccinations. So I would say that usually in the teenage years, but there are some people who have uncontrolled asthma that have had it from birth or childhood, and they're 30 and 40 years old, and they're still having that's kind of like moderate, persistent. Like there's different, mild, intermittent asthma, moderate, persistent, and then severe, persistent. So you've got different graduated, different types of asthma. And so hopefully that answered your question. But I always say when I first came here about 12 years ago in Mississippi, went to a particular church that will remain nameless, but in my same faith, and they were talking about a gentleman who had died from asthma. And I really hadn't even heard of anybody below like 60 years old or so dying from asthma or COPD. This was somebody, I believe, in their 20s or 30s. I think it was a long time ago. But I said, that's just like those different forms of cancer. There are just certain things that people should not die from. And asthma is one of them. COPD is different because that's irreversible lung damage. And these are, people usually at least 60 and above, or, later 50s and above. So this is irreversible lung damage. They might have smoked like a chimney 30, 40 years. That's different. But a fairly young person, fairly healthy, maybe they have a little hypertension, maybe not. They shouldn't be dying from asthma, or different forms of cancer. All right, let's see. Another question here. We said we go to 9:10. We've got enough time for this one. If one creeps on in, we'll take one more question. One more question or comment. So whoever gets that in, let's do that. All right. When it comes to flu vaccines, I've always been cautious about giving it to my kids. My youngest went for her yearly physical and got the first round of the flu vaccination and was hospitalized for a week after getting it. What is your suggestion on the flu vaccines for young children? That's a really great question. I know I say that all the time, but that's a really good question. And I'm certainly not a pediatrician. I practice more geriatric medicine now, so I'm kind of away from that. But I really think that it depends on the child. There are certain people like who definitely need that, right? The same thing as the people who needed COVID vaccination. For example, those with COVID, those that are immunocompromised. So that means like HIV or people who are on chemotherapy, older people who have just been kind of like, sickly all their lives, chronic kidney disease patients, diabetics, people with COPD. So that's kind of in the ballpark. So it all depends on where you fall in that continuum. Like where do you match up? If it's a normal healthy child, then they can follow the normal vaccine schedule. However, if it's a child that has some other risk factors, then you kind of take some other things into account. I've heard we definitely have patients that have issues with the flu shot, and then we have patients that have no issues and they don't even remember that they got it because they've never gotten sick from it. And other people who are sick as a dog. And so I would just say that it depends. Depends on when they got their school shots. How did they do with those? Certainly, the COVID vaccination is mRNA vaccine, so it's a little bit different. The genetic makeup of it, the construction of this vaccine. That's why it was so controversial. So it's different than any other vaccine out there. But as far as the flu shot, it is relatively safe, in terms of we have so much data on that. Relatively safe, but that's one of those things to just kind of pray about, talk about with the pediatrician, the person that knows the child best and who's going to be taking care of them. So she said that makes sense because she does have that. Yeah, absolutely. So those kind of like atopic kids that have like their bad dermatitis and, have issues going on, asthma, eczema, and my daughters, have that. So when it comes to like the eczema skin things, I have it, severe sun allergy and all that. So that's called atopy, like atopic issues. And so those things certainly run through families. If you've had asthma, skin conditions, and all this kind of stuff, then a lot of times, unfortunately, the children will be burdened with these things too. So hopefully that cleared it all up. Well, look, guys, I know we are, I said at 9:10, it's 9:11. All right. So we went 1 minute over. Look, thank you guys. Thank you all so much for hanging with us. I know that this was a later one than planned, but thank you all for coming back on, hanging with us this on a unconventional time. Like I said, we certainly, God willing, will be back 7 p.m. Central Standard Time each and every Tuesday for Telehealth Tuesday. So next week, we'll have a very special guest. We will be joined by, I'm not going to tell you. You're just going to have to check out the flyer to see who it's going to be. But this is an electrifying person. They have their own radio show. They're doing a lot of big things here in Jackson. And so stay tuned. So with that said, join us next Tuesday. Make sure to bring a friend, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I know it's Taco Tuesday, but you can get your tacos earlier or you can get them later. Or you can get them to go and have them sit down with us. Sit right there, whether you're drinking margaritas, water, coffee, post them. A lot of y'all don't know what post them is. That's a whole nother thing. But just bring whatever it is. Family and friends, just gather around. Please help us to support this program because we put a lot into it. This is for you. This is for you. This is for our people, everybody's people, God's people. And and look, DM us or email. Let us know, if there's a topic that we haven't yet discussed. It's been 42 episodes, God willing, 42 episodes. So I want to give it up for the program. Thank you so much. Thank you all for those great questions. Next week, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, and we will be there. Make sure to support my good friend, Dr. Clayton Barksdale, who's I don't want to mess up these dates and times. I don't have it in front of me, but make sure to go out and see that. I don't know if I tell you if you're still looking, because I know you helped. It's called, there it is. Where's Daddy? A stage play, June 12th, okay, and June 13th. 2 show times. June 12th, 10 o'clock a.m., 6 o'clock p.m. June 13th, 10 o'clock a.m., 6 o'clock p.m. is a stage play written by Dr. Clayton Barksdale, my frat brother from A Phi A. It's going to be amazing. Make sure to get your tickets. Maybe like $15, $20. You pay way more than that, okay, for lunch. Okay. So make sure to come out and see that. Amazing. We had him on the show a couple of weeks ago. Phenomenal guy. We had some of the other cast members. Courtney. Courtney's going to be with us. She's the Miss Mississippi, doing huge things here in the community. The other couple other gentlemen of the director, the producer, one of the actors on there, and amazing cast, and also Mr. Famous Amos himself from Delta Valley. He was on with us. He's got over 1 million followers, and he's on all these rappers things and on TV and movies and all this. I'm a big fan, and so he joined us on via telephone. It was an amazing experience. Catch that episode. All right, I think I've said enough. We'll see you next Tuesday, God willing. Remember, this is the place where we treat and discuss mind, body, and soul. So till next time, remember my favorite quote: true wealth begins with good health.